Kizuki are the most terrifying beings in Demon Slayer. While most people consider them to be the most evil creatures on the face of the earth, many of them have had their own reasons to become the monsters they are today. So in this video, we're going to see what makes the Kizuki so dangerous and why they ended up becoming eternally damned after drinking Muzan's blood. And we're starting off with the weakest of the lower moon, Kyogai, who gave us our first taste of just how terrifying a Kizuki can be. The extremely creepy looking demon who shows up in the Suzumi Mansion arc to square off against Tanjiro and his comrades was actually excommunicated from the Kizuki for being too weak. Yeah, this guy whose blood art allowed him to chop off his enemies while they were spinning around is considered weak. But then again, lower moons are replaced quite frequently, and the ones who are not worthy have to bear the mark of shame from their master Muzan himself. What's really interesting about Kyogai is the fact that he lost his hunger for human flesh, which in turn cost him his strength. So by the time Tanjiro faced him, the former lower moon was already at his limit. Next up, we have lower moon rank 5, Rui, who is arguably the most terrifying lower moon introduced in the anime. Many things make Rui unique amongst the Kizuki. He is the only member of the group who has no desire to go up the ranks, even though he is the strongest among the lower moons thanks to his high body count. Rui is also the only Kizuki who is allowed to form a twisted family by Muzan. And to top it all off, his blood demon art allows him to slash anyone into dozens of pieces in a flash. He really was a formidable opponent, and his battle against Tanjiro did wonders for the show's popularity. Moving up the lower moon tier, we have Enmu, who was a weirdo, even by demonic standards. I mean, the guy loved, and I mean loved, pain and suffering, even as Muzan was slaughtering lower moons left and right for being weak. This weirdo was having the time of his life. In fact, the only reason he became a demon in the first place is that he praised Muzan while he was eating his guts. Talk about being a masochist. Anyway, Enmu consumed a lot of Muzan's blood, which not only enhanced his physical abilities, but also made it possible for him to create that nightmarish monstrosity in the Mugen train arc by fusing hundreds of people. Leaving the lower Kizuki behind now, we come to the big boys. And our first upper moon is the two siblings who wreaked havoc in the entertainment district arc. I'm sure most of you know about Daki and Gyutaro. After all, they really made a big impact on season 2 of Demon Slayer. Unlike lower moons, the upper moons haven't been changed for 100 years or so, and these two have been killing Hashira for a long time, thanks to their annoying demon art, which made them almost impossible to kill. However, even after seeing the evil in their hearts, you can't help but sympathize with them, since they had no choice but to become demons to stay alive. Our next demon is the one who replaces the siblings as the new lowest ranked upper moon. I'm sure fans of the manga have realized that I'm talking about Kaigaku, who is another really interesting character. For starters, the guy was actually a demon slayer before joining the dark side. Even more surprising is the fact that he's Zenitsu's senpai, as they were both trained by the Thunder Hashira Jigoro. But unlike Zenitsu, Kaigaku is a selfish narcissist who became a demon just to save his own skin. He had to drink a lot of Muzan's blood, which made him exceptionally strong. Couple that with his excellent swordsmanship, and you have a demon who was promoted to the upper moon ranks in record time. Moving up the Kizuki ranks, we have the 5th ranked upper moon, Gyoko, who is another demon with a rather twisted personality. Since he is one of the main antagonists of the Swordsmith Village arc, you're gonna see this freaky looking monster who has this hobby of making haunting art with the bodies of his victims. And looking at his collection, his victim list is very long. And as for his blood demon art, oh, it's unique to say the least. You see, this fish-like being has no legs, but he can create pots wherever he wants. And he moves by teleporting himself from one pot to another pot. These pots also act like prisons, which can be used to create his cursed art. We finally come to Hantengu, who is probably my favorite antagonist in the entire show. Just like Gyoko, he also appears in Season 3, and I'm sure many of you are going to be blown away by him. You see, this really old demon usually acts like a total crybaby, who could even put Zenitsu to shame. He also claims to be a saint, even though he's eaten numerous humans in his long lifetime. However, what's really special about him is his blood demon art. It allows him to manifest his emotions into 4 different clones, all of which are equally strong, but have completely different personalities and weapons. This means that you're basically facing 4 upper moons at the same time while dealing with him. He really impressed me in the manga, and I just hope the anime can do him justice. After Hantengu's death, the position of 4th ranked upper moon is given to Nakime, who, if you can remember, is the creepy lady who was playing the string instrument during Muzan's annihilation of the lower moons. She used to be a serial killer and became Muzan's servant after she tried to beat him to death. Her blood demon art allows her to create an interdimensional castle that she can manipulate however she wants. She also has the useful ability to spy on people from extremely long distances, which makes her a fine instrument of war for Muzan. The next demon on our list needs no introduction. After all, Akaza became the most hated character in the show after he killed Rengoku during the Mugen Train film. Now, while I understand the hatred towards him, I'm sure eventually people will realize that he was never really a bad guy. His life as a human was nothing but tragic. Still, he kept many of his values even after becoming a demon. For instance, he never eats women, and even tries to save strong adversaries by making them demons. As manga readers will know, that by the time his story comes to an end, you can't help but like him, despite his actions. Next up, we have the psychopath of the bunch.
その娘、間もなく死ぬだろう。
I'm talking about 2nd ranked upper moon Doma, who is the very epitome of evil. Like, everything about him is just vile. He hates humans and considers them to be pests. Still, he leads them through a cult, so he can have a constant supply of victims, which are mostly young girls. And just like a true psychopath, you can never tell how messed up he is by looking at his bubbly personality. Add that to his blood demon art, which creates a fatal ice barrage, and you have a monster from your worst nightmares. Now, before we talk about the highest rank Kizuki, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that we can keep bringing you cool content like this. And maybe one day we can have as many subscribers as Gyu has friends. What's that? No, actually, let's do better than that. Yeah. Now finally, we come to Kokushibo, the strongest and oldest of the Kizuki. Just like Kaigaku, he used to be a demon slayer more than 5 centuries ago. In fact, he's the twin brother of the legendary demon slayer Yorichi, and this very relationship inspired him to become a demon. You see, he was envious of his twin brother and became Muzan's servant to become strong enough to beat Yorichi. The 6 eyes plastered on his face allow him to use Transparent World, which is the same ability as his brother had. This allows him to predict his enemies' movements with extreme precision. His mastery of breathing techniques also adds to his strength, and since he has consumed so much of Muzan's blood, his physical prowess is unmatched. He truly is a monster who lives only to serve his master. And that brings an end to today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.